I think he might be a lost cause. These are the words I overheard my grandfather whisper to my grandmother at a football game in 2010. And for a split second, I thought, surely he's not talking about me. But deep down, I knew that he was. At the time, I was flunking out of college, skipping class, getting into trouble. It wasn't that I didn't care. It's that I was avoiding a deep pain that had been with me since I was a kid. When I was 6 years old, my father died suddenly in a car accident. And based on my observations of 6-year-olds with their fathers, I've realized that's a hard time to lose your hero. That loss fractured my understanding of life, killed the innocence of childhood. But fortunately, being surrounded by amazing family support, I had access to therapy. My bedtime stories shifted from dragons and dinosaurs to books on emotions and grief. Those tools were immensely beneficial, but none of them touched the deep cellular pain that was left by his absence. As life went on, I learned the easiest way to manage was to avoid. Suppressing emotion gave me temporary relief. It allowed me to appear fine, but it built a wall between who I was and how I really felt. When I heard my grandfather call me a lost cause, it hit me hard. I wasn't fooling anyone but myself, and I realized something had to change. 8 years later, I'm standing barefoot in the snow in the middle of Iceland, about to jump into a freezing cold glacier-fed lake. The voice in my head shouts, "What the heck are you doing?" And to this day, that's still the first words that pop in my head right before I get into a plunge. And after 10 years of continuous practice, I can promise you, it doesn't get any easier. But the reason I keep coming back is because it works. The benefit of cold exposure and breath work were so profound in my life that they led me halfway across the world to learn from some of the leading experts in the field. I'm standing at the edge of a 20-foot cliff, hesitating, fear. But as I look around and see community, my friends encouraging me to leap, that hesitation disappears, and I jump. As soon as I hit the water, my body goes into fight, flight, and literally freeze mode. I swam for my life, but as I was swimming, I noticed a shift. For a split second, I realized as I was swimming, I wasn't trying to avoid discomfort. I was moving with it. I was swimming with joy, energy, and vitality, not panic, fear, or pain. When I climb out, my body was radiating heat, yes, even while soaking wet in freezing temperatures. And it wasn't until later I learned that this is a biological process called thermogenesis, our body's ability to create heat in the face of cold. Skin tightens, blood vessels constrict, moving oxygen, warm, rich blood into the core, into the brain, protecting your vital organs. The nervous system shivers, your cells vibrate, creating an inner fire. All to keep you safe, all to keep you alive. The system designed to protect us is the same system that helps us meet challenge with resilience. Most people step into ice baths for performance or recovery. I step into the ice to heal my heart. Because on that day, I felt a sense of connection to myself, to the world around me. I felt alive in a way I hadn't since before my father passed away. Cold exposure isn't just about freezing pain away. It's about feeling with it, feeling through it. And the single most important tool that help me navigate both the cold and the pain in my heart is the breath. Breath is the foundation of life. As the Greek word pneuma describes, breath and spirit are one, the invisible force that animates us. And I want to share with all of you 2 key elements of the breath that can help reconnect to that invisible force: depth and direction. When I think about the depth of breath, I'm not just talking about breathing low into the diaphragm. I want to encourage everyone to breathe into the full capacity of the lungs. That means expanding the ribs, lifting the chest, elongating the spine. When we breathe fully, that's where vitality lives. Direction, when you breathe through the nose, instead of breathing up, try to breathe back and horizontal. Shifting the direction of your breath opens spaciousness. It creates more depth, so direction and depth can work together. And I want to bring all of us together with 3 deep breaths. So go ahead and sit up, roll the shoulders, shift your weight. We're going to take 3 breaths together, focusing on direction back and then depth throughout. Deep breath in, finding spaciousness. Let it go. Best breath of the day. And let it go, relax. Okay, one more. Breathing back and deep, feeling the full capacity of the lungs, and let it go, relax. Roll the shoulders, return to a normal breathing. Notice the spaciousness. Notice the fullness. When we breathe deeply into our lungs, we're not just breathing into our lungs, we're breathing also into our heart. Even a few activating breaths can stimulate the body, but through that activation, we find stability. A reminder that calm isn't the absence of stress. It's the ability to meet it one breath at a time. When I returned home to Northwest Arkansas, I was eager to share this practice. I began leading breathwork experiences, ice bath immersions, and over the years, I've guided hundreds, maybe thousands into the cold. I've taught many more the importance of breath and how to use deep and directional breathing for lung health, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. As a physical therapist, I discovered something profound. The more I healed my own pain, the more I could support others with theirs. And I believe the same is true for all of us. Not long after moving home, I discovered a small natural spring not too far from this exact location, Park Springs. It turns out these springs hold a lot more than healing waters. They hold history. Over 100 years ago, the founder of osteopathic medicine, A.T. Still, established a health center and hotel right here in Bentonville, Arkansas. This was a part of a cold water renaissance that swept across the United States in the late 1800s, where thousands flocked seeking mineral-rich spring water to heal their ailments and empower their souls. It is in these springs where I now find my own connection and rejuvenation, carrying on the tradition. Resilience is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about feeling through it. How you breathe influences how you show up. As you take deep and full breaths, notice that you can connect deeper to your heart. I often think back to my childhood, being thrust into learning about pain, emotion, and loss. Teaching myself how to breathe deeply to navigate panic attacks and make it through lonely, anxiety-filled nights. I never expected these lessons to become my life's work. But looking back now, I can see it was all meant to be. If my father were here today, I know he'd be jumping into the cold right there with me. In fact, that's where I feel him the most. It's only by leaning into the pain and discomfort that we can fully experience the love and appreciation that lives on the other side. And through discovering myself more deeply, I now have the privilege of helping others do the same. I've found my cause. Thank you.